Hello, everybody. On the auspicious occasion of Women's Day, International Women's Day, it is my great pleasure and honor to unfold this beauty in front of you. Vibrant Voices, an anthology of 21st century Indian women poets, published by the very prestigious Sahitya Akademi in India, which is the National Academy of Letters in India. It's a very high place of esteem in my heart, and I offer my gratitude and my heartfelt thanks to Seema Jain ji, Professor Seema Jain, who has edited this momentous and very worthwhile collection of women poets. Us who are the successors of a very well established tradition of Indian women poets writing in English, I would like to read out a little bit from the blurb of the back cover blurb of the book, Vibrant Voices. The genre of Indian English poetry has been abundantly rich, and within its domain, Indian women poets writing in English have a well established tradition. The impressive legacy of Taru Datta, Sarojini Naidu, Kamala Das, and so many other women poets continues its successive journey with several outstanding and vibrant poetic voices in the 21st century. The present collection of 102 women poets currently engaged in penning their sensibility is an endeavor to map this genre as it is evolving today and to present its various shades and nuances. It incorporates leading and celebrated poets as well as new and emerging ones from various corners of India to some of the Indian diasporas, from diverse cultural, linguistic, and geographical backgrounds ranging from the northeast to the southwest of India and also from foreign shores, and brings a spectrum of multiple and disparate experiences and artistic expressions. And a few words about our editor, Seema Jain. Seema Jain is a bilingual poet, short story writer, critic, translator, and editor who retired as Dean Academics, Associate Professor, and Head PG, Department of English, KMV Jalandhar, Punjab, India. She has numerous publications to her credit. She has published 4 solo poetry collections, 1 co-authored with 2 more in the publication process. And she has also translated a book of poems and 2 novels, 1 for the Sahitya Akademi, edited 2 books of research articles, besides having contributed poems, short stories, forewords, interviews, and articles to nearly 100 international and national anthologies, books, magazines, and journals. So, friends, you can understand how prolific, erudite a writer, editor, and academician she is, goes without saying. And there are some very bold, fiery, beautiful voices which I have had the privilege to read when this beauty reached me, this beauty of a book reached me. And this is my first publication from Sahitya Akademi, and it's a great honor to read out my poem, which is a little bit about the poem. This poem had been written during a very difficult period in my life while the pandemic was going on, and like many others, I was very depressed the way things were turning out. And not only due to the pandemic, it was a period where I was experiencing some very negative energies, because a book of mine had been, which had seen the light of the day, but it was not up to the mark, and I wanted to republish it and could not do it at that time frame. And the creative process, my creative journey in my mind or my understanding had been thwarted in that time period. So I went ahead and wrote a poem about my immediate feelings which were experienced during that time frame. And it's a manifestation of some of my feminine energies, and also written in the voice of a poet who is very much disillusioned by the creative process, but at the same time wants to rise like a phoenix. So the poem goes like this, and it has an interesting name. The title of the poem is An Epilogue of a Botched Poetry Collection. But so to speak, this poem is not written about a poetry collection per se, but it was written about a short story collection. Like in its essence and its emotional feeling, it was written about that short story collection, which I thought at that time was botched, but then I brought it out in a new and a more modified avatar. The poem goes like this, without further ado. This, my dear, is an epilogue of a botched poetry collection. Each poem in the book was born out of stories I have stabbed with my own murderous hands. Each story had borne a botched poem. The powerless book will die a humdrum death. I have learnt that though I refuse to be silent, my pen can never change the world. My heart doesn't sway with a juvenile flutter anymore. Cadence has ebbed and flowed in a different welcoming home, seeking a deliriously happy, daintily dancing beau. Rhythms and melodies kiss the lips of more vigorous, charming scribes, choosing to walk down a sprawling hall of fame. I've stabbed the stories. I have stabbed the stories, and they, in turn, botched the poems, so I can stroll in the shady bylanes, fanning my flickering and blazing flames of want. A bare-bone trail where poetry had once left its wayward footprints. The muffled voice of a caged bird whose only claim to fame had been those hungry bursts, those Sufi screams and virgin moans. From the depths of darkness, the fetus craved to be born as the flawed, accidental child. What is the use of random stories, bastard poems they beget, spilling over their own confines, prancing and preening till they find their own dark abyss and drown in it? My heart doesn't sway with a juvenile flutter anymore. In the open bazaar, where the torn flesh and ashes of a zillion poems are trampled every day, I take in the aroma of the unforgiving times, the stench of each eloquent verse burning, meeting her nemesis. Each new fetus of a verse I have met in the womb held on to me till I left her to die, smothered in her own verbal bounty. With each of them, I die too, one stroke at a time. This, my dear, is an epilogue of a botched poetry collection, where the genesis dies, drowning in death's sweet cascade, the progeny too. So this was the poem, An Epilogue of a Botched Poetry Collection, which is part of Vibrant Voices, an anthology of 21st century Indian women poets, edited by Seema Jain. Seema ji, I'm truly thankful and honored that I'm part of this momentous collection with my humble poem. Thank you so much for the opportunity and honor. And I would read out some other poems from the collection too in more videos coming up very soon. And to you all, wishing you all a very happy Women's History Month in March. And hopefully some more videos of mine will be coming soon. Bye.